Okay, engineers, now that we know what isometric sketching is, we need to actually create our own images. So we have this image on the left, and how do we go about creating this image on the right? You can see that this first set of lines here is already drawn on this graph paper for you or isometric paper for you right here. So that is how we know where to start. To be able to make these lines, we need to come up here to our line tool. Go ahead and click on it. And then we're going to look here to see how many boxes we have, starting with our X plane here on the bottom, since that is what is given to us on this side here. So you can see that it starts off with one line. So that one line represents this one box. But if I count, there's 1, 2, 3. So I need to add 2 more lines to this location, or not 2 more lines, but 1 more line that covers 2 boxes in this location so that we can bring it across here. Now, I want to make my line thicker so that I can actually see it. So I'm going to change it to 4 so that it is a darker image. Now, you can see that because I have this start arrow here, it's kind of distracting and getting in the way. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that so that it won't prevent us from doing what we need to on this page. So I'm just going to click on each of those images and click delete, so that I have free reign of my lines up here. And now I'm going to put that point right on that connection spot. So you can see here now that I have 1, 2, 3 boxes, just like my image on the left. So now I'm going to count up from there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 going vertical from that point. So now I'm going to take that line, and again, I'm going to start from that point. So I'm going to click on my line tool and drag my line from that point and count up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's very important to try and get your line lined up with the dotted line underneath, and to make sure that it only goes to the connection points, not past it or not short. Okay, so now that we have that line, I'm going to come back down to this original point down here, and I'm going to continue to create this original shape, this one face that is looking at me that kind of looks like an L shape. And then I will continue from there. So again, I want to create a new line. So I'm going to come back up, grab my line tool. And if I start from the top of this one line here, one line over here, I can see that it goes diagonally up to the left, 1, 2. So I'm going to do the same thing starting here. So I'm going to go up, left, 1, 2, and go all the way to my connection point, and again, size 4. Now, it gets really tiring and tedious to continuously have to click and change the line size to 0.4. So what I can do is I can work smarter, not harder, by copying and pasting these lines and then just changing the size of them or the length of them to match. So what I mean by that is you see here that the line that I have highlighted is 4 boxes long, and that represents the 4 boxes that are over here on the left. But this line coming up from the middle of the L here, if I want to continue this line, you see it's only 1, 2, 3 boxes long. So what I can do is I can Control C, copy, Control V, paste this line so that I can just scooch it over to where I need it. But you can see that my line is too long. It only needs to be 3 boxes long. So now what I can do is shorten the length of that line. And now I don't have to go back and make my line a 4-point thickness because it's already that long. Okay, so that way it makes my work a little bit easier for me. So we now have this L shape almost completed, but you can see that there's a connecting line between those 2 points. So again, I'm going to come up here and grab my line, and drag it over to connect these 2 points together and make sure my line is 4-point. Okay, so now I have my L shape, but I need to continue this L to give it depth in this other direction. So now I need to create these depth lines. So to do that, I'm going to start at this point here again, we started with our origin point down here, and I'm going to complete this line that moves up 1, 2, 3 boxes. And you can see there's already one line here. So really what I need to do is just take my line tool and continue it another 2 boxes up to the right. So I'm going to make sure I connect that to my connection point here. And now that looks ready to go. So now what I want to do is the same thing with this point, just one line up from it. And you can see it's 1, 2, 3 boxes starting from this up to the right. So again, get your line tool and you can drag it 1, 2, 3 boxes up to the right. Okay. And then the same thing, we have 1, 2, 3 boxes up to the right here. So instead of doing this line over and over again, because I'm going to have to do it 1, 2, 3 more times, what I can do is I can do Control C, Control V to copy and paste, and then drag that line to where I see it needs to be. So right here where that kind of transition point of our L is where our next 3 lines are going up to the corner here. And then we need it again at the top of our L. So I'm going to do Control C, Control V again to come up here and create the extension of my L backwards. And then one more time, Control C, Control V to get that back edge of my L ready. Okay, so now we have all of these lines ready to go, and I need to make sure I'm a little more precise in lining up over top of these dots here so that it won't mess me up later on. And now I just need to connect these lines to each other. So I'm going to take my line that I already created here, and I'm going to do Control C, Control V, and I'm just going to copy and paste it up to where I need it to go. And then I'm going to grab my line tool, grab my line from here. Again, Control C, Control V. I can just create that line and drag it up to the top to fill in this space here where this one needs to go to connect that part of the L. And this vertical line is 3 boxes long, just like this vertical line, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that means I can take this vertical line, Control C, Control V, and I can drag it and put it up here, connecting these points up in the corner. And then I have one line left that I need to create to connect my 2 points over here. So now I can grab my line tool for one last line here and connect my 2 points together. And there we go. So we can double check, count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So once we check, we should be good to go. And that's all you got to do. Just make sure you check your lines so that nothing is overlapping and that they all connect. Good luck.